tell her why she must never, ever get her hands work roughened. "Keep a civil tongue in your head. We know what's best for you, lassie," was all the reply she could expect. The day was exceptionally hot for a Scottish autumn. After a horrendous summer of storms and squalls and pouring rain, the clouds had suddenly lifted, rushing up and beyond the high mountains like so many bad fairies trailing their wispy black robes as they fled the christening party. A perfect Indian summer had been left behind with long, idyllic sunny days and blue, smoky evenings, where the lights from the houses in the town twinkled in the dusk and sent their reflections to fall, sparkling in the loch, to rival the blazing stars above. Lucy had always imagined that she would go into service as a housemaid like her mother, and had tried to get her mother to talk about life in the castle. But Mrs. Balfour would only fold her lips repressively and say, "I do my work well, and I do my Christian duty, and that's all a body can expect." Mrs. Balfour was full of such repressive phrases, some of them verging on idiocy. One evening, while Lucy had been poring over her French readers, she had raised her head and exclaimed, "Oh, I would love to visit Paris," to which Mrs. Balfour had sniffed and remarked, "I hadna been to Paris, and me arms are aye the same length." Lucy had turned this phrase over and over in her mind. What had going to Paris got to do with the length of one's arms? But Mrs. Balfour had obviously believed this to be a masterly piece of rhetoric, so she had declined to question her about it. In the novels that Lucy loved to read, the heroines were always sinking to the floor and laying their heads on their mothers' laps, their blonde curls spilling over in the lamplight in artistic disarray, and pouring out their girlish confidences. Lucy grinned as she thought of the effect this would have on her mother if she did the same. Mrs. Balfour would probably administer a strong dose of syrup of figs to purge the nonsense out of her. A sudden breeze whipped up the loch from the faraway Atlantic, ruffling the blue water and carrying the dancing music of the band to Lucy's ears. "Tell me, pretty maiden, are there any more at home like you?" Lucy straightened up, her eyes dreaming as she imagined the Gaiety girls strutting across the stage to the music, and she raised her clear voice in the penultimate line, "If I must love someone, then why not you?" "Why not indeed?" said a lazy voice behind her, and she spun around. A man stood at the top of the slope, looking down at her. He was very tall, over 6 feet, with a lean, muscular build. His thin, high-nosed face was topped with a thick thatch of straw-blonde hair, and his eyes under their heavy lids were very blue and mocking. He was wearing jodhpurs and a hacking jacket, both well worn, but even unsophisticated Lucy realized from the unstudied arrogance of his manner that she was seeing one of the mysterious aristocracy for the first time. Although Castle Inver was just outside the town, Lucy had never seen either the Earl or the Countess. They spent a great part of the year in London or abroad, and the entrance to the castle was many miles away from the town, leading as it did from the main Glasgow road. Although the town of Marysburg was Protestant to a man, the Earl and Countess were Roman Catholic and had their own chapel in the castle grounds, so there was no possibility of them visiting the town church. Lucy watched the man walking with languid, athletic ease down the slope toward her, and was relieved to see that he was quite old. Young men made her feel shy. She judged him to be at least 35, and to 17-year-old Lucy, that was positively middle-aged. "What are you doing?" he asked in a light, pleasant voice. Lucy reflected with some irritation that older people always seemed to ask the most unnecessary questions. But she bobbed a curtsy and answered politely that she was picking brambles for jam. "How jolly," he remarked lazily, sitting down on an outcrop of rock near the bush and crossing one muscular leg over the other. He drew out a gold cigarette case.